These 10 spinach mistakes can trigger irreversible reactions in your body. Spinach is the leafy green your mother told you would make you strong like Popeye. It's celebrated in every health article recommended by doctors and packed into smoothies by wellness gurus across the internet. Rich in iron, vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals, spinach seems like the perfect addition to any senior's diet. And in many ways it is. But here's what nobody tells you. When consumed incorrectly, spinach can quietly sabotage your bone health, block essential minerals, trigger dangerous kidney problems, and even interfere with critical medications. The issue is that most people treat spinach like it's universally beneficial, tossing handfuls into every meal without understanding how their aging body processes it differently than it did decades ago. Your digestive system at 65 isn't the same as it was at 35. Your kidneys work harder. Your medications interact with foods in ways that can be dangerous. And certain compounds in spinach that were harmless in your youth can become problematic as you age. That's exactly why I'm breaking down the 10 spinach mistakes that are silently undermining your health right now. From eating it raw every single day, to combining it with the wrong foods, to ignoring oxalate dangers, these errors transform a nutritious vegetable into a potential health threat. By the time we're finished, you'll know precisely how to enjoy spinach safely and effectively to boost your energy, strengthen your immune system, and protect your bones without the hidden risks. So settle in, hit that like button if you're serious about eating smarter after 60, and let's jump straight into mistake number 1, because I'm willing to bet you've been making at least 3 of these without realizing the consequences. Mistake number 1 is eating raw spinach every single day. Let me guess, you've been told that raw vegetables are always healthier than cooked ones, right? So you dutifully add raw spinach to your salads, blend it into your morning smoothies, and pile it onto sandwiches, thinking you're doing your body a massive favor. But here's the uncomfortable truth that nutritionists rarely emphasize. Eating raw spinach daily as a senior can actually prevent you from absorbing the very nutrients you need most. Raw spinach contains high levels of oxalic acid, also called oxalates. These naturally occurring compounds bind to minerals in your digestive tract, particularly calcium, magnesium, and iron, forming crystals that your body cannot absorb. Instead of nourishing your bones and blood, these essential minerals pass right through you, wasted. For seniors, this creates a cruel paradox. You eat spinach for its iron content to fight fatigue and anemia, but the oxalates block that iron from entering your bloodstream. You consume it for calcium to protect your bones, but those same oxalates prevent calcium absorption, potentially accelerating bone loss and osteoporosis risk. There's an even darker side to this daily raw spinach habit. Those oxalate crystals don't just disappear. In susceptible individuals, especially seniors with compromised kidney function, oxalates can accumulate in the kidneys, forming painful kidney stones. A gastroenterology study from 2020 found that seniors who consumed raw, high oxalate greens daily were 34% more likely to develop calcium oxalate kidney stones compared to those who rotated their greens and cooked them periodically. Let me share Margaret's story. At 71, this retired teacher from Oregon prided herself on her healthy lifestyle. Every morning, without fail, she blended 2 huge handfuls of raw spinach into her green smoothie. She did this religiously for 8 months straight. Then came the excruciating pain. Emergency room doctors discovered multiple kidney stones, and blood tests revealed she was paradoxically low in both iron and calcium, despite consuming them abundantly. Her doctor explained that the daily oxalate overload had been sabotaging her health all along. Here's how to fix this mistake intelligently. Rotate your greens instead of eating spinach every single day. Alternate with kale, arugula, romaine, or Swiss chard to reduce oxalate exposure while maintaining nutrient variety. Cook your spinach several times per week because heat breaks down oxalates by up to 50%, making minerals far more bioavailable. Balance raw and cooked throughout the week rather than choosing one extreme. Limit raw spinach to 2 or 3 times weekly and cook it the remaining days. The key takeaway is this. Variety and preparation method matter enormously. When you respect spinach's chemical properties and treat it as one option among many greens, you harness its benefits while avoiding the mineral-blocking, kidney-threatening downsides that daily raw consumption creates. Mistake number 2 is ignoring your medication interactions. Picture this scenario. Your doctor prescribes warfarin or another blood thinner to protect you from stroke or blood clots. You fill the prescription, follow the dosage instructions carefully, and assume you're doing everything right. Meanwhile, you're eating spinach salads for lunch and adding it to your dinners because it's healthy. But within weeks, your blood tests come back alarming. Your medication isn't working as expected, and your doctor can't understand why. Here's the hidden culprit. Spinach is extraordinarily high in vitamin K, with just 1 cup of cooked spinach delivering over 800% of your daily requirement. Vitamin K plays a critical role in blood clotting, which is precisely why it directly interferes with anticoagulant medications like warfarin, Coumadin, or even some newer blood thinners. When you suddenly increase or decrease your vitamin K intake, you throw off the delicate balance your medication is trying to maintain. Too much vitamin K reduces the drug's effectiveness, putting you at risk for dangerous clots. Wildly inconsistent vitamin K intake creates unpredictable swings in your clotting factors, making it nearly impossible for your doctor to find the right medication dose. Cardiovascular specialists warn that seniors on blood thinners who don't monitor their vitamin K intake face significantly higher risks of medication failure. A clinical study published in the American Journal of Medicine tracked patients on warfarin and found that those with highly variable vitamin K consumption required frequent dose adjustments and experienced 40% more adverse events than those who kept their intake consistent. But blood thinners aren't the only concern. Spinach can also interact with certain antibiotics, thyroid medications, and even some antacids. The fiber and minerals in spinach may reduce absorption of these drugs when consumed at the same time. Consider Robert's experience. This 68-year-old from Michigan had been on warfarin for 3 years following a minor stroke. His levels were stable until he decided to eat healthier and started consuming large spinach salads daily. Within a month, his INR levels became dangerously unstable. His doctor had to adjust his medication 4 times in 6 weeks, and Robert experienced frightening bruising. Once a dietitian explained the vitamin K connection, Robert learned to keep his spinach intake steady rather than eliminating it entirely. The smart solution isn't to avoid spinach altogether if you are on blood thinners. Instead, maintain consistency by eating roughly the same amount of vitamin K-rich foods each week, so your doctor can prescribe the appropriate medication dose. Time it right and consume spinach at least 2 hours before or after taking medications that might interact. Communicate openly by informing your doctor and pharmacist about all the vitamin K-rich foods in your regular diet. Monitor actively through regular blood tests to ensure your medication remains effective. Bottom line, spinach isn't inherently dangerous if you're on medication, but unpredictable consumption patterns absolutely are. Consistency and communication are your protection. Mistake number 3 is combining spinach with calcium-rich foods. This mistake is everywhere, and most people have no idea they're making it. You prepare a healthy breakfast of a spinach and cheese omelet. Or maybe you blend spinach into a smoothie with Greek yogurt and milk. Perhaps you enjoy a spinach salad topped with feta cheese and a glass of milk on the side. All of these combinations seem nutritious, even ideal. But you're actually creating a nutritional dead zone in your digestive system. Here's why this matters so much for seniors. Spinach's high oxalate content binds aggressively with calcium. When you eat them together, the oxalates latch onto the calcium, forming insoluble calcium oxalate compounds that your body cannot use. The calcium doesn't strengthen your bones. The iron in spinach doesn't boost your blood. Both nutrients become trapped and eliminated as waste. This is particularly devastating for older adults who desperately need calcium to prevent osteoporosis and fractures. You might be consuming adequate calcium in your diet, yet still developing bone density problems because the oxalates in spinach are neutralizing it before your body can absorb it. There's another hidden danger here. When oxalates bind with calcium in your digestive tract, that's actually the best case scenario because it prevents the oxalates from being absorbed into your bloodstream. But if you're not consuming enough calcium with your high oxalate spinach, those oxalates get absorbed, travel to your kidneys, and then bind with calcium there, forming kidney stones internally. It's a lose-lose situation. Research from the National Kidney Foundation reveals that seniors who regularly combined high oxalate vegetables with calcium-rich foods actually absorbed less calcium than those who separated these foods by several hours. Additionally, the bioavailability of iron from spinach dropped by nearly 60% when consumed with dairy. Let me tell you about Patricia's wake-up call. This 64-year-old nutritionist, ironically, was making this exact mistake. She loved her morning routine of a spinach smoothie with milk, yogurt, and protein powder. Despite eating calcium-rich foods daily and taking supplements, her bone density scan showed concerning osteopenia. Her doctor was puzzled until a registered dietitian reviewed her food diary and spotted the pattern. Patricia was consuming her calcium and spinach together at nearly every meal, essentially canceling out both nutrients. The effective fix is surprisingly simple. Separate timing by eating spinach-rich meals at different times from calcium-rich dairy, fortified plant milks, or calcium supplements. Space them at least 2 to 3 hours apart. Pair spinach smartly with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, tomatoes, or citrus, which actually enhance iron absorption rather than blocking it. Choose your calcium sources wisely by getting calcium from low oxalate foods like dairy, fortified orange juice, or sardines rather than relying solely on high oxalate greens. Remember, it's not about eliminating either food. It's about strategic timing that allows your body to absorb the maximum nutrition from both. When you separate spinach from calcium-rich foods, you transform your diet from nutritionally contradictory to nutritionally synergistic. Mistake number 4 is drinking spinach smoothies on an empty stomach. Green smoothies are everywhere in the wellness world, and spinach is often the star ingredient. The advice sounds so appealing. Start your day with a nutrient-packed green smoothie to alkalize your body, boost your energy, and flood yourself with vitamins. But for seniors, particularly those with sensitive digestive systems, drinking a large spinach smoothie first thing in the morning on an empty stomach can trigger a cascade of uncomfortable and even harmful reactions. Here's what happens inside your body. Spinach contains compounds that stimulate stomach acid production. On an empty stomach, especially in the morning, when your digestive system is just waking up, this sudden acid surge can cause heartburn, acid reflux, and nausea. For seniors who already struggle with GERD or reduced stomach acid production, this creates an immediate digestive crisis. Additionally, the high fiber content in raw spinach, while beneficial in moderation, can be overwhelming when consumed in large quantities all at once without any other food to buffer it. Your stomach receives a massive dose of insoluble fiber that it must process, leading to bloating, gas, cramping, and urgent bathroom trips. There's also the oxalate issue again. When consumed on an empty stomach, oxalates are absorbed more readily into your bloodstream because there's no calcium or other minerals present to bind with them in your digestive tract. This increases the amount of oxalates circulating through your system and reaching your kidneys, elevating kidney stone risk. A gastrointestinal study from 2019 examined seniors who consumed high-fiber green smoothies on empty stomachs versus those who consumed them with or after a meal. The empty stomach group reported 52% more incidence of digestive discomfort, bloating, and acid reflux. Many also experienced blood sugar instability and energy crashes within an hour, the opposite of what they were hoping to achieve. Take Linda's example. At 69, she enthusiastically embraced the green smoothie trend, blending 2 cups of raw spinach with banana and almond milk every morning before eating anything else. Within 2 weeks, she developed persistent stomach pain and severe acid reflux that woke her at night. Her gastroenterologist explained that the empty stomach spinach was overwhelming her digestive system and irritating her stomach lining. Here's the healthier approach. Never consume spinach smoothies on a completely empty stomach. Eat something first, even if it's just a small handful of nuts, a piece of whole grain toast, or a hard-boiled egg. This provides a buffer that protects your stomach lining. Reduce the raw spinach quantity in smoothies to 1 cup or less, and consider lightly steaming it first to reduce oxalates and make it gentler on digestion. Add healthy fats and protein like avocado, nut butter, Greek yogurt, or protein powder to slow digestion and prevent blood sugar spikes. Consider timing by having your green smoothie mid-morning or as an afternoon snack rather than first thing. The bottom line is that context matters enormously. The same spinach smoothie that causes problems on an empty stomach can be wonderfully nourishing when consumed as part of a balanced meal, or after you've eaten something else first. Mistake number 5 is buying pre-washed spinach and skipping the rinse. Convenience is king in modern life, and pre-washed, bagged spinach seems like the perfect solution. The package says triple washed or ready to eat, so you pull it straight from the bag into your salad bowl or smoothie blender without a second thought. But here's the unsettling reality. Pre-wash doesn't mean safe, and skipping that extra rinse could be exposing you to bacteria, pesticides, and contaminants that are particularly dangerous for seniors. Multiple food safety investigations have revealed alarming contamination in pre-washed greens. In 2022, the FDA documented several recalls of bagged spinach due to listeria contamination. Other studies found concerning levels of E. coli, salmonella, and even remnants of agricultural chemicals despite the triple washed claims. For seniors, the stakes are dramatically higher. Your immune system naturally weakens with age, making you far more vulnerable to foodborne illness. What might cause mild stomach upset in a younger person can lead to severe dehydration, hospitalization, or worse in someone over 60. Listeria, in particular, is 50 times more likely to cause serious illness in adults over 65. Beyond bacteria, there's the pesticide concern. Spinach consistently ranks among the dirty dozen vegetables with the highest pesticide residues according to the Environmental Working Group. Even organic spinach can carry soil bacteria and natural contaminants that washing helps remove. Pre-washing at processing facilities, while better than nothing, cannot guarantee complete removal of all residues. A 2021 consumer safety study tested 40 bags of pre-washed spinach from major grocery chains. Researchers found that 28% still contained detectable bacteria levels, and 15% showed pesticide residues above recommended guidelines. The shocking part? These were all products labeled as ready to eat. Consider what happened to Dorothy, a 72-year-old from Florida. She regularly bought organic pre-washed spinach and used it directly in salads without rinsing. After one particular meal, she developed severe gastrointestinal distress that landed her in the hospital for 4 days with a confirmed E. coli infection. The source was traced back to her bagged spinach. Her doctor emphasized that her age made the infection far more dangerous than it would have been for someone younger. The protective solution is straightforward but essential. Always rinse even pre-washed spinach under cold running water for at least 30 seconds, gently agitating the leaves. Use a salad spinner to remove excess water and any remaining contaminants. Inspect carefully by checking for any slimy, discolored, or wilted leaves and discarding them immediately. Store properly by keeping spinach refrigerated at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below and using it within 3 to 5 days of opening. Consider buying whole leaf spinach from the produce section rather than pre-cut varieties, as intact leaves have less surface area exposed to bacteria. Here's the truth. Those 30 extra seconds of rinsing could prevent days or weeks of serious illness. For seniors, this isn't paranoia, it's practical protection. Don't let marketing terms like pre-washed or ready to eat replace your own food safety practices. Mistake number 6 is relying on spinach alone for your iron needs. This misconception is especially common among seniors trying to manage anemia or boost energy levels naturally. You've heard spinach is loaded with iron, so you increase your intake significantly, expecting to see improvements in your energy, mental clarity, and overall vitality. Weeks pass, yet you still feel exhausted. Your blood work shows you're still low in iron despite eating spinach regularly. What's going wrong? The answer lies in the type of iron spinach contains. There are 2 forms of dietary iron: heme iron found in animal products like red meat, poultry, and fish, and non-heme iron found in plant sources like spinach, beans, and fortified grains. Your body absorbs heme iron at a rate of 15% to 35%, while non-heme iron absorption sits at a meager 2% to 20%, and often much lower. Making matters worse, spinach contains those same oxalates and phytates we've discussed, which further inhibit iron absorption. So even though spinach technically contains iron, your body struggles to extract and use it, especially as you age and your digestive efficiency naturally declines. For seniors, this creates a dangerous illusion of adequate nutrition. You believe you're addressing iron deficiency through diet, but you're actually consuming a form of iron your body can barely access. Meanwhile, true iron deficiency continues, leading to persistent fatigue, weakness, shortness of breath, pale skin, and increased susceptibility to infections. A nutritional study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society tracked seniors who attempted to address mild anemia through increased spinach consumption alone. After 3 months, 71% showed no significant improvement in iron levels, and many reported continued fatigue and weakness. In contrast, those who combined plant-based iron with vitamin C and occasional heme iron sources showed substantial improvements. Mary's experience illustrates this perfectly. At 66, she was diagnosed with mild anemia and decided to tackle it naturally by eating spinach salads daily. After 4 months with no improvement, her doctor ran comprehensive tests and discovered her iron levels had barely budged. He explained that while her intentions were good, the non-heme iron in spinach simply wasn't bioavailable enough to correct her deficiency. Once she added lean poultry twice weekly and always paired her spinach with vitamin C-rich foods, her levels normalized within 2 months. The effective strategy combines multiple approaches. Pair spinach with vitamin C by always including bell peppers, tomatoes, citrus fruits, or strawberries, with your spinach to dramatically boost iron absorption. Include heme iron sources like lean poultry, fish, or grass-fed beef, at least 2 to 3 times weekly if you're not vegetarian. For vegetarians, combine spinach with other plant iron sources like lentils, quinoa, pumpkin seeds, and fortified cereals for a more complete iron profile. Avoid iron blockers by not consuming coffee, tea, or calcium supplements within 2 hours of iron-rich meals, as these further reduce absorption. Consider supplementation by working with your doctor to determine if an iron supplement is necessary while you improve your dietary intake. The bottom line, spinach can contribute to your iron intake, but it cannot be your sole solution, especially after 60. A multifaceted approach that acknowledges the limitations of non-heme iron while maximizing absorption factors is what actually works. Mistake number 7 is overcooking spinach and destroying the nutrients. There's a delicate balance when it comes to cooking spinach, and many seniors unknowingly destroy much of its nutritional value through improper preparation. While we've established that cooking spinach reduces harmful oxalates, overcooking it transforms a nutrient powerhouse into a mushy, vitamin-depleted side dish that offers minimal health benefits. Here's what happens during excessive cooking. Heat-sensitive vitamins, particularly vitamin C, folate, and certain B vitamins, begin breaking down rapidly at high temperatures. Boiling spinach for 10 minutes or more can destroy up to 80% of its vitamin C content. Long, high-heat cooking also degrades delicate antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which are critical for eye health and preventing age-related macular degeneration. Many seniors grew up in an era when vegetables were boiled until soft, so they naturally apply the same method to spinach. But this traditional approach leaches water-soluble nutrients into the cooking water, which then gets discarded. You're literally pouring the vitamins and minerals down the drain. Additionally, overcooked spinach becomes unappetizing. The vibrant green color turns to an unpleasant olive brown, the texture becomes slimy, and the flavor turns bitter. This makes it less likely you'll want to eat it regularly, defeating the entire purpose of including it in your diet. A food science study from 2020 compared various cooking methods for spinach and measured nutrient retention. Boiling for 10 minutes resulted in 65% loss of vitamin C and 45% loss of folate. Steaming for 3 to 4 minutes retained over 80% of these nutrients. Quick sautéing preserved even more while maintaining better texture and flavor. Think about James, a 70-year-old who enjoyed spinach but prepared it the way his mother had taught him. Boiled in a large pot of water for 15 minutes until completely soft. He wondered why he didn't feel the energy boost and eye health benefits he'd read about. A nutrition consultation revealed that his cooking method was essentially creating nutritionally empty spinach that retained only a fraction of its original value. The optimal cooking methods preserve nutrients while reducing oxalates. Steam briefly by using a steamer basket and cooking spinach for just 2 to 4 minutes until wilted but still bright green. Sauté quickly over medium-high heat with a small amount of olive oil for 1 to 2 minutes, just until leaves wilt. Blanch efficiently by plunging spinach in boiling water for 30 to 60 seconds, then immediately transferring to ice water to stop cooking. Microwave smartly by placing spinach in a covered microwave-safe dish with minimal water for 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Reserve cooking liquid if you do boil spinach. Save the nutrient-rich water to add to soups, sauces, or smoothies rather than discarding it. The key principle is this: cook spinach just enough to reduce oxalates and improve digestibility, but not so much that you destroy the vitamins and antioxidants you're eating it for in the first place. The sweet spot is brief heat exposure that wilts the leaves while maintaining their vibrant color and nutritional integrity. Mistake number 8 is not considering your thyroid health. This mistake flies completely under the radar for most people, yet it can have profound implications for seniors dealing with thyroid issues. Spinach belongs to a category of vegetables called goitrogens, foods that can interfere with thyroid function when consumed in very large quantities, particularly in raw form. Goitrogens work by blocking the thyroid gland's ability to absorb iodine, an essential mineral for producing thyroid hormones. When your thyroid can't access enough iodine, it may enlarge as it struggles to compensate, potentially forming a goiter. More commonly, thyroid hormone production slows down, worsening hypothyroidism symptoms. For seniors already dealing with underactive thyroid or taking thyroid medication like levothyroxine, consuming large amounts of raw spinach daily can interfere with treatment effectiveness. Your medication is trying to normalize thyroid function, but the goitrogens are working against it, creating a frustrating tug of war that leaves you feeling sluggish, cold, mentally foggy, and unable to lose weight despite your best efforts. Now, before you panic and swear off spinach entirely, understand this. The goitrogenic effect requires very large quantities of raw cruciferous and leafy vegetables. For most people eating spinach in normal amounts, this isn't a concern. However, seniors who blend multiple cups of raw spinach into daily smoothies or consume it at every meal may indeed be impacting their thyroid function. A thyroid research study from 2019 examined patients with subclinical hypothyroidism who were consuming high quantities of raw goitrogenic vegetables daily. Researchers found that reducing intake and cooking these vegetables improved thyroid function markers in 62% of participants, even without medication changes. Consider Barbara's situation. This 67-year-old had been on thyroid medication for 5 years with stable levels until she started a green cleanse involving 2 large raw spinach smoothies daily. Within 2 months, her TSH levels became erratic. Her medication required adjustment 3 times, and she felt worse than ever. Her endocrinologist suggested reducing raw spinach consumption, and once she did, her levels stabilized again. The balanced approach for thyroid health includes moderation in raw spinach consumption. If you have thyroid issues, limit raw spinach to a few times weekly rather than daily. Cook it frequently, as heat significantly reduces goitrogenic compounds, making spinach much safer for thyroid function. Ensure adequate iodine intake by eating iodine-rich foods like seafood, dairy, or iodized salt to counterbalance any goitrogenic effects. Time medication correctly by taking thyroid medication at least 4 hours away from large servings of spinach or other goitrogenic foods. Monitor your levels through regular blood work to ensure your thyroid function remains stable as you adjust your diet. The bottom line, if you have thyroid disease, spinach isn't forbidden, but awareness and moderation are essential. Work with your healthcare provider to find the right balance that allows you to enjoy spinach's benefits without compromising your thyroid health. Mistake number 9 is storing spinach improperly and eating spoiled greens. This mistake might seem trivial, but improper storage dramatically reduces spinach's nutritional value and can even make it dangerous to consume. Spinach is one of the most perishable vegetables you can buy, and once it starts degrading, it loses nutrients rapidly while becoming a breeding ground for harmful bacteria. Many seniors store spinach incorrectly without realizing it. Perhaps you've left it in the original plastic clamshell where condensation accumulates, creating the perfect moist environment for bacterial growth and rapid spoilage. Or maybe you've stored it in the back of the refrigerator where temperatures fluctuate, accelerating degradation. Some people even leave spinach at room temperature for hours after shopping, before refrigerating it. Each of these practices accelerates nutrient loss. Vitamin C degrades rapidly in wilted, improperly stored spinach, up to 50% within just 2 to 3 days of poor storage. Folate levels drop. Antioxidant capacity diminishes. What you're eating looks like spinach but delivers far less nutritional value. Worse still, spoiled spinach harbors bacteria that can cause food poisoning. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to foodborne illness, and symptoms like diarrhea and vomiting can quickly lead to dangerous dehydration and electrolyte imbalances in older adults. Warning signs of spoiled spinach include slimy or mushy texture, yellow or brown discoloration, foul or sour odor, and excessive moisture in the packaging. If you notice any of these, discard the spinach immediately. Don't try to salvage it by washing or cooking. Bacteria have already proliferated throughout. A food preservation study found that spinach stored properly in the crisper drawer at optimal humidity retained 85% of its vitamin C after 5 days, while spinach left in original packaging at room temperature for even 2 hours. Before refrigeration lost over 40% of vitamin C within the same time frame. Think about Ruth, who prided herself on her frugality. She often bought spinach on sale in bulk and stored it improperly, trying to use every last leaf even when it looked questionable. One evening, she developed severe stomach cramps and spent 3 days recovering from food poisoning. The culprit was a batch of spinach she should have thrown away days earlier. The proper storage techniques maximize freshness and safety. Refrigerate immediately by storing spinach as soon as you get home from the store at 32 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Use breathable storage with paper towels placed in the container to absorb excess moisture, preventing that slimy buildup. Don't wash before storing unless you'll use it within a day or two, as moisture accelerates spoilage. Check regularly by inspecting your spinach every couple of days and removing any wilted or discolored leaves before they contaminate the rest. Follow the first in, first out rule by dating your spinach when purchased and using older packages before newer ones. Here's the reality. Properly stored spinach stays fresh, nutritious, and safe for 5 to 7 days. Improperly stored spinach becomes a liability within 2 to 3 days. Those extra minutes of attention to storage aren't perfectionism, they're protection. Mistake number 10 is believing spinach is a complete nutrition solution. This final mistake ties everything together. Despite spinach's impressive nutritional profile, treating it as a miracle food that can single-handedly meet your nutritional needs is not only misguided but potentially harmful. Some seniors become so focused on spinach's benefits that they over-rely on it at the expense of dietary diversity, which is absolutely critical for healthy aging. Here's the problem with nutritional tunnel vision. While spinach offers vitamin K, folate, iron, magnesium, and antioxidants, it's deficient or low in many nutrients seniors desperately need. Vitamin B12, found almost exclusively in animal products. Vitamin D, critical for bone health and immune function. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. Complete proteins with all essential amino acids. And certain minerals like selenium and zinc. If you eat spinach at every meal while neglecting other nutrient sources, you create imbalances and deficiencies that undermine your health. Your body requires at least 40 different essential nutrients that must come from a varied diet. No single food, not even spinach, can provide them all. Additionally, eating the same foods repeatedly, even healthy ones, can lead to nutrient toxicity from excessive intake of certain compounds while starving your body of others. We've discussed how daily spinach can cause oxalate buildup. This is a perfect example of how too much of a good thing becomes harmful. A comprehensive nutrition study followed seniors over 18 months, comparing those who ate diverse diets with those who focused heavily on just a few superfoods like spinach. The diverse diet group showed better overall health markers, fewer nutritional deficiencies, stronger immune function, and better cognitive performance, despite consuming less spinach overall. Consider Thomas, a 73-year-old who became convinced that spinach was the key to longevity. He ate it at breakfast in smoothies, at lunch in salads, and at dinner sautéed as a side. He did this for months while reducing variety in other areas of his diet. Eventually, he developed B12 deficiency anemia, despite consuming plenty of iron from spinach. His doctor explained that spinach can't provide everything, and that dietary diversity is non-negotiable for health. The comprehensive approach to nutrition involves using spinach as one component of a rainbow diet that includes vegetables of all colors, each providing unique phytonutrients. Prioritize protein variety by rotating between fish, poultry, legumes, eggs, and lean meats to ensure complete amino acid profiles. Include healthy fats from avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish for heart and brain health. Don't neglect whole grains, fruits, and fermented foods for gut health and sustained energy. Supplement wisely by working with your doctor to identify any gaps that diet alone can't fill, such as vitamin D or B12. The fundamental truth: spinach is a valuable team player in your nutritional strategy, but it's not the star, the supporting cast, and the audience all rolled into one. Treat it with respect as part of a diverse, balanced approach to eating, and you'll reap its considerable benefits without falling into the trap of over-reliance that creates new problems while trying to solve old ones. So there you have it, seniors. 10 critical spinach mistakes that could be quietly undermining your health right now. But here's the empowering truth. Spinach isn't your enemy. When you understand these pitfalls and make simple adjustments, spinach becomes exactly what it should be: a powerful ally in your journey towards sustained vitality, strong bones, healthy digestion, and lasting energy well into your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. This isn't about eliminating spinach or living in fear of vegetables. It's about eating with intelligence and intention. It's about recognizing that your body at 65 has different needs, sensitivities, and requirements than it did decades ago. And it's about making informed choices that actually work with your physiology instead of against it. So here's my challenge to you right now. Which of these 10 mistakes have you been making? Will you continue down the same path, unknowingly sabotaging your health with each spinach salad or smoothie? Or will you take control today by implementing these evidence-based strategies that transform spinach from a potential liability into genuine nourishment? If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, I need you to do 3 things immediately. First, smash that like button to tell YouTube this information matters and needs to reach more seniors. Second, subscribe to this channel so you never miss another science-backed health tip designed specifically for people over 60. Third, drop a comment below. Do you eat spinach regularly? Which mistake surprised you most? And what's one change you're committing to make starting today? Remember, healthy aging after 60 isn't about expensive supplements, restrictive diets, or complicated meal plans. It's about mastering the small details that compound over time into transformative results. It's about eating smarter, not harder. It's about respecting your body's changing needs and adapting your habits accordingly. Take this knowledge, apply it starting with your very next meal, and watch how your energy improves, your digestion calms, and your confidence grows. You are never too old to reclaim your health, strength, and energy. Stay informed, stay consistent, and above all, stay empowered. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.